Hello, everyone. I'm here to present Yasna.ai, our early stage exploration and testing tool that does depth of qual, scale of quant, and speed of automation. My name is Anna Krajan, and I'm Chief Commercial Officer at Yasna.ai. I have nearly 20 years of experience in brand strategy, product, and usability research. And now I'm actually super excited to lead a team of talented researchers at Yasna.ai to bring this exciting news of AI powered moderation and research into consumer and research space. So today for my agenda, I have several topics I'd like to cover. First, I'll tell you a little bit about our AI Yasna tool and how we build it and how we taught her to do conversational AI mimicking human moderator. Then we'll discuss three industry cases and challenges, and I'll demonstrate how our platform is able to solve these cases. And finally, if you stay until the end, you will get a link to free guide templates for concept testing and early ideation tooling that will help you in your business objectives. But before I start and deep diving into cases and usability, I'd like to talk a little bit about conversational AI in general and what black box it is for some people, and how it works in context of our service. So conversational AI combines natural language processing, or NLPs, with machine learning. And in essence, it is a science of getting computers to talk to humans in human language. And once programmed, these NLPs flow into this constant loop of machine learning to improve AI algorithms, and in our case, for research purposes. Contrary to general AI that you might see on Facebook, Google, Twitter, Yasna is narrow AI, and that means that we have built algorithms specifically designed to solve narrow tasks in consumer and market research. So we trained it to work off research and moderation tools that human moderators use in their day-to-day work, and that's how we make it better. So in general, as any AI-driven platform, Yasna has basic advantages of AI-powered engines. So it's fast and scalable, it's cost-efficient, and it's also global. And in a little bit, I'll tell you about how these three tools help us to deliver quality for the clients. So without further ado, meet Yasna. Yasna is our software and research creation, so she's bringing and bridging together the best of both worlds. In terms of capabilities, Yasna can do text, voice, and video interviews, and that means that our AI agent will talk to respondents in text, and they can reply with text. She will talk in text, and the respondents can reply with voice, and then finally, respondents can reply with videos. And that component of videos and pictures is super important and critical for exploration studies. This is where Yasna is able to immerse clients into people's lives, their homes, consumption occasions, and other contexts that clients need to understand how their products are being consumed. And talking about exploration studies and exploration objectives, this is where we see best goodness to fit of Yasna as a tool. There are certain research areas in consumer research and specific business objectives where we know Yasna is best positioned to solve. And these are mostly with exploration and refinement of early ideas and concepts and briefs. So Yasna can do anything from category perception, brand usage studies, lifestyle, value explorations. And another bucket is about refinement. So that's about early idea testing, concept testing, packaging, storyboard, communication projects, and briefs. But again, most cases that we see our clients use is with early concept and idea screening when you need to separate that signal from noise and focus on ideas and concepts that deliver and will deliver results for your brands and businesses. And you need to test those out fast and with specific scale and speed if you have like a global project. So what took weeks, if not months, in early stage idea testing and concepts with traditional Qual. Now we can do in matter of hours or days with field work with Yasna. Let's also take a look at how Yasna bridges qualitative and quantitative component of the research. So traditional qualitative research is all about why, understanding motives, emotions, and context. This is something I talked about previously about, when I talked about exploration. And quantitative research, on the other hand, was focused on what, measuring and validating opinions and behaviors. And the way we bridge the two is by how our algorithm governs our agent, does the interviews, and how we analyze the results in the end. So many competition that we see on the market that are doing similar work in AI conversational and moderation research, they do survey first approach, which means that the respondent sometimes feels bombarded or even interrogated with a number of questions that he or she needs to answer before the interview is complete. In Yasna, we designed our algorithm to mimic human moderation, which means that we programmed our project setup to operate within context and topics that set the boundaries for conversations instead of like doing this question answer approach. So this quant component is important because it appears in the stage of analyzing and synthesizing the results. Once we get the depth of Qual research through our conversations, because we can do hundreds of interviews with our conversational tool, we are able to analyze the results and analyze Qual verbatims at scale. Which is very important in concept development and concept testing, because language component is something that our clients value in concept development and testing. So that was a bit of a theory. And if we talk a little bit, if I move to the next point of my agenda and talk a little bit about cases and how this early ideation and concept development works in practice, we've prepared 3 cases with our clients that we worked with Yasna on this specific objective. So first case was about Halion. It was a quick Q&A study for body pain that we had done together. And Halion is a large consumer and healthcare company. It hired Yasna to do scan of vocabulary or language of the types of body pain that existed to respond to in the right language and coping mechanisms in the 3 official languages in Switzerland. And the project, which would traditionally take thousands of Swiss francs and several expensive multilingual moderators, we had done in 1 week, because Yasna has that component of multilingual capability of talking to consumers. So we talked to Swiss consumers who are German, French, and Italian speakers to list the types of body and muscle pain they face after gym. And Yasna made vocabulary list ready for marketers to develop emotional communication response and target these types of pain with different coping strategies and mechanisms in the right language for that product and for that concept. Another case we had was for a Reckitt Quick Wash, which is a cleaning product where we had to refine 3 creative concepts for clients' marketing team. And usually concept tests are burdensome because of the concept writing and the number of iterations that you need to take and the thousands of options that how you can say what you needed to say for that product and wait for the consumer response. So we had Yasna to do it with multiple variations of different wording options and stimuli that our consumers in the task had to react to different variations. So as a result of this refinement exercise, we had a clear recommendation for the clients in terms of creative language, of how it can be used for concepts, and actionable results that the client team has taken forward with their NPD development cycle. And finally, one of my favorite projects, which we had done with Yasna, was a survey of taxi drivers, which was done for an InDrive, which is a taxi app popular in several markets of Central and Eastern Europe. So what we had to do was to survey drivers who are essentially sole proprietor partners working off a commission scheme for InDrive on the new app feature that would make the payments and billing easier for both parties, the drivers and the InDrive. And as you can imagine, the survey topic is not that exciting, and the profile of taxi drivers is usually the kind that makes it difficult to do both Qual and Quant. They're not very engaged and not very eloquent, I would say. So we also knew from our past research that with this specific client, our moderators, our human moderators, quickly burn out simply by talking to this difficult audience. And the results, which results in greater level of moderator bias because of the moderator fatigue. Basically, moderators get tired asking same questions over and over and over again. And what we also knew is that taxi drivers had loads of free time on their hands waiting for the next order sitting around in their cars. So because InDrive is an app, they could see when the driver is busy taking an order and where they're free. So what we had done is we had integrated Yasna into the app, sent push notifications to all the drivers to go through a quick survey explaining new billing idea across 7 markets and ask to participate in the survey. So we had no moderator burnout and bias. We had done 450 interviews in 1 week, in what in other project design would take at least a month. And we had insights into Qual, what drivers thought about the idea, but also Quant validation because the sample size was big enough to do significance testing and to compare results market by market. So now that was kind of the usability of the platform and the cases. So you can imagine on how we can use Yasna. Now let's see how the platform works in practice. So there are 3 easy steps. First, you set up the project. So you or our Yasna manager on your behalf will upload basic brief and discussion guide. Basically do similar work to what you would do briefing your human moderator, similar things we do to our AI agent. Then we can customize Yasna moderator persona, and we can define, and later we define screening criteria to define target audience as you would with any consumer or market research. Then our respondents are hired through our panel partners, online panel that we partner with, and it's integrated on the platform, so it's easy to run. And then once the interviews are set up, screening criteria are set, Yasna takes care of the interviews. That's essentially a one-to-one chat with the respondents that follows your guide from general to specific questions. If need, Yasna can probe, do laddering or other moderator techniques that we ask her to do to provide that deeper Qual insights that we need and expect from the qualitative moderator. When all interviews are complete, step 3 is about getting both full verbatims, so what respondents said in answering the questions, and later all these verbatims are summarized in interactive summaries. So 3 easy steps in what has taken weeks, if not months, in one country or multi-country projects in the past are now done in a matter of days, and our standard lead time for projects is about 1 week. So this is all I wanted to mention about Yasna. And thank you for staying with me until the end of the presentation. We prepared a ready-to-use guide templates for concept testing that you can use in your work. And these cover basically most common testing tasks and techniques. We've designed them to help you run through structured interviews. You can now do it efficiently and get actionable results faster. To access them, just scan the QR code that you see on the screen and follow the link on the slide so you can start using them immediately. I also strongly encourage you to continue a conversation with me and my wonderful team and managers that I have on staff. So here with a QR code, you can book a call or demo with us. And yeah, I'm happy to invite you to discover and explore Yasna more. Now I guess it is time for Q&A, and there are many questions in the chat that I see. I'm not sure if I have time to answer everything, but there are a couple that I see that are actually frequently asked questions, so I'll try to answer them. And so the first question is, how do you guarantee the security of personal data? So basically, we take this point very seriously. Your data is securely encrypted and stored on trusted Microsoft Azure servers located in European Union. We partner only with reputable infrastructure providers that have strict internal controls and guidelines for handling personal data. Your data remains private. We never use this data for large language models and training. We are fully GDPR compliant according to all European legislation that we have here in European Union. The next question is, what is truly unique feature of Yasna that stands out on the market? I think I briefly touched base on that during my presentation, and this is where we basically see how we built our product and built our algorithm to govern the way we conduct conversations with the respondents. So that idea of survey first versus qual at heart method and how Yasna is built is something that we truly feel defines us versus the rest of the market and many of our competitors. The feeling that the respondent gets when talking to Yasna is basically like human moderator versus that survey first method that I mentioned, being a little bit interrogated by the list of questions before the respondent can finish the interview. Next question is, how are you probing? So Yasna basically is built to use adaptive AI that we say listens, but actually it processes each answer. It goes back and compares it to the context that we've created for it during the project setup. And then it's kind of programmed to ask smart follow-up questions like probing, like lettering, just like human moderator would in a conversation or one-to-one interview. So it follows the interview guide that we create for her, but it also goes back to the idea of qual at heart, where we set the boundaries for the conversation and it's able to operate within those boundaries. We also have 45 languages in our portfolio, and that's how we are able to conduct multi-market global studies in any language, and it's done basically automatically. I think I'm running out of time, so thank you for your questions. I see other questions in the chat, but I'm happy to take those questions offline. And yeah, come and book a call with us, and would be happy to have a conversation. Thank you. Bye.